Welcome to the walkthrough of the 2007 Fourwinds 5000 series. This will be a thorough walkthrough of the outside and inside of the unit. Please make sure you watch every detail, pay close attention. If you have any questions or comments, please make sure you email us and let us know. All right, we're going to start by showing you the engine. The hood release for the engine is just like in your normal vehicle. It's going to be right up here on the driver's side. Just pull it. Come around the front. Typical engine compartment, nothing too fancy here. Everything's pretty straightforward. Here is your battery. The battery is for the engine only. It is not for the rest of the cabin or the coach. It is just for your engine and working those components. Okay, if you need to jump start your battery, it's right here. Here's your washer fluid. I do have extra fluid on one of the supply bays. I'll show you that later. Here is where you fill your oil. Check your transmission fluid is right there. And way down here, you have how you check your oil, the dipstick for the oil. Please make sure anytime it is your responsibility to check the oil. If you are filling up fuel, if you're stopped, whatever the case may be, check your oil. Let it sit for 15-20 minutes so the oil will drop into the pan. You pull that out and you check your oil. If you're a little bit low, I have a quart of oil in the supplies bay. Okay, you have storage bays all underneath. Feel free to use any bay that doesn't have a label on it or that doesn't already have stuff in it. Now, let me show you something with the keys. I always try to keep my keys nice and labeled. The green are for storage bays. So if you've got a green label on your key, it's for the storage bays. These ones happen to have only one lock on one side. Pop them open, and that's your bay. Always make sure when you close your bays, lock them. Make sure that they are locked because you do not want to be driving down the freeway, the wind catches this, flips it open, rips it off, you've got to pay for that. Please, always make sure, green key, lock your storage bays. Moving right along, right down here is your generator. It's labeled generator. You should never have to come out here and do anything with it, but in case you do, here it is. If you have to open the panels for any reason, if the generator's not working, you have to check things, something like that, always either call me first or go to the manuals. Open right here, and then the panel pulls off, and that gives you access to your generator. There is a way to start it from the outside right here. I'm not going to do that right now. Check your oil, things like that. Again, you should never have to come out here and do anything with this, but if you did, here's where it's at and here's how you do it. Close your latches, locked. And then close these latches, locked. Good. Right above this is the hot water tank. Again, I'm just showing you where it's at. You shouldn't have to mess with it or do anything with it. This is where the hot water tank reservoir is located. Unleaded fuel only. Driver's side is where you fill up the gas tank. Always remember that. Please, this is not diesel. This is gasoline only. Now, if you were driving through, say, I-70 and the Eisenhower Tunnel, and then you're heading to Arizona or somewhere where there's a lower, you're at sea level, you need to use a higher octane. This will prevent something called vapor lock. If you just use 85, you see in the state of Colorado, we can use 85 because we're at a higher altitude. But as you drop down into the lower altitudes, you may experience something called vapor lock. It has nothing to do with the unit or the engine. It is not enough oxygen that is mixing in. And basically, air gets in the fuel line and it causes a vapor lock from inconsistency of the fuel going into the engine. Again, just use a higher octane and that will fix the problem. Gas only, driver's side. Right down below that is our septic. Got my trusty green key. here is our septic system. Now, the way that your septic works, this is your black, this is your gray. Your gray water is everything from your sink and your shower. Your black water is just toilet, that's it. Now, when you go to dump this, you always want to make sure that you leave your tanks closed all the time. If you're camped out on a campground somewhere, leave the tanks closed. I'll show you on the inside how to check the levels. As you check your levels, if your gray will fill up first, probably fastest. So you can dump your gray anytime you want, not a big deal. But when you go to dump your black, you want to make sure you have enough gray in the tank to flush the black out. So if you've already emptied your gray and you're like, oh, we need to empty the black, run some water, fill up the gray tank like halfway, quarter of the way, whatever, just so you have water to flush it. Now, how this works, you have a hose that connects to this, and the hose is located in the bumper. But before I go get the hose, I'm gonna make sure I put my gloves on first, okay? I got my gloves on, now I'm ready to dump my tank. Remember, your sewage holding tank, it's your black valve, it's usually the larger of the two, and your wastewater holding tank, that's your what's called your gray water, that's from your shower and your sinks, okay? Now, the sewage hose is located in the bumper. Follow me along. Pull the cap off. Always, again, have gloves on. I always try to use 2 hands when I pull this thing out because I don't know the last person that used it and I don't want it spilling all over the place. I hold it upright. It's just a twist lock. Always make sure it's tightly secured. The pressure from the black tank and the gray tank will pop this off. You don't want to deal with that, trust me. The other end goes into the hole in the ground. There's not one here, obviously. You want to make sure that this hose is securely in the ground. Do not let it just sit there. Again, the pressure from it will knock this thing all over the place. You will have sewage everywhere. You will not be happy about that. Trust me, okay? Now, when you go to flush your tanks, black first. You pull the lever out and you let the black tank go. Dump, 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 dump. Once you hear it empty, close it. You push it in to close it. Then you flush it with your gray. Pull the gray out, let it run, run, run. Once it's done, close it, okay? Then what I do is I'll take the hose from here, unhook it, and I will lift it up and let everything else drain out. Remember, gravity works in your favor. Once it's done, again, 2 hands, that way I'm not making a mess, and I go put it right back in the bumper. And then when you put your cap back on, just make sure it's in there nice and snug so you don't lose it when you're driving. Then, from here, everything is closed. We can shut this, lock it up, and that's your sewage system. Okay, over here is your electric. This is what's called your park cable. It has 3 prongs. Always make sure your prongs are cleaned before you plug things in. Dirt and electricity, they don't go good together. But this is a 30 amp cable. 3 prongs, 30 amp. You use this to plug into the park site or the campsite, wherever you're at. Now, if you wanted to charge the unit or if you're parked at a friend's house, in the supplies bay, there is an extension cable. It's a heavy duty gauge, I'll show you that. There's an adapter on it that you will plug into, and that you can plug right into a garage or your house or something, and that will give you power to the unit. But please only use my extension cable. Thank you. Okay? Storage bay right here. All the way through, plenty of room, put a ladder, small child. Don't put your kids in there. Right here next to this is our water. Now, the way that this works is you have a fill and you have your direct connect. If you're at a park or you're at a friend's house, whatever, and you want to direct water pressure, you don't want to use your tank or your pump, you just plug in the hose right there and that will give you direct water pressure. Next to it, this is how you fill the water. Again, I supply a hose, use the hose that is supplied with it. You just shove that down into there, turn your water on, and fill the tank. You'll know it's filled up because it'll start overflowing. Once it's overflowing, pull your hose out, close it up, and your freshwater tank will be filled. Every unit, the freshwater tank is always filled before they go out, so please make sure you fill them back up when you bring them back. Oh yeah. Also with your freshwater, I don't recommend ever drinking it. Bring bottled water or something like that. It is coming from a hose and a faucet, so I don't have filtration system on this unit, so just bring bottled water when you fill up your freshwater tank. Here in the back, nothing too fancy. You do have a standard 2-inch hitch. Yes, you can tow things, but you need to let me know if you're towing something. It is just a $25 flat rate. Tow whatever you want with it. That's how that works. I do have a tow dolly if you'd like to tow a car. And then you have a ladder. Again, you're welcome to go up on the roof. You are liable. If you fall off this ladder or fall off the roof, you are liable. You cannot come back and sue me because I told you use it at your own risk. And use caution. Moving around to the passenger side of the unit. Again, you have storage here. Feel free to use it. Right here, this is just the back side to your refrigerator. Don't take the panel off. You shouldn't have to mess with anything in there. It does have an awning, but you are not allowed to use the awning because of the insurance companies and because I don't feel like charging you to use them. Most people don't understand how to use them. Even if I show you how to use it and to teach you how to use it, people still break them. They are costly and they are expensive. I don't want to charge that to you. Is that fair enough? Good? All right, let's keep going. You got some outside power right here. Your supplies bay is right down here. In it, you will find a bug scraper, very handy, a quart of oil, your gloves for the septic tank, the hose to fill up the water, the extension cable. This is the only extension cable I want you to use when you're plugging in. There's the adapter that goes on it, and of course some bug wash. Feel free to use any of these things. Keep attention to your oil. If you use the oil, just replace it with the same stuff that it was. This is a 10W30, it's a synthetic blend. Right next to your supplies bay is your propane. The way that the propane works is you don't do anything. You go to a facility, you go and you park, and everybody gets outside. You turn off the engine, you come outside, the person will come, fill it up, and let you know when everything is good. If for some reason you're not getting propane to the unit, check and make sure that this is turned on. Most of the people, when they fill it up, they close it, okay? They'll close it righty-tighty. But you want propane in the unit, you've got to turn it on, and then you have propane. That should cover the passenger side of the unit. Thanks for watching. We'll go ahead and work our way inside. Remember, all my keys are uniquely labeled. Green is for storage. Pink is for the deadbolts. Every single RV, for whatever reason the manufacturers decided to do this, has a deadbolt and a regular lock. Pink is for the deadbolt, and the black is for just the handle. Come on in. Okay, now we're on the inside of the unit. We started here in the back. You have a full queen size bed in the back. Nothing fancy here. You have day and night shades on your windows. The way that these work, 2 hands, please. Day and night. All of the windows open and work the same. Unlock them, They all have screens. Don't punch holes in the screens. Real simple. Just like that. On the other side, you do have your emergency exit right down over here. It's in the bedroom, so hopefully you will never have to use it, but that is where your emergency exit is located. This unit is full of drawers and storage and all sorts of stuff. The way that the drawers work in RVs, they are lift and pull. Lift and pull. It's a safety feature, so while you're driving, they don't come flying open as you're driving the unit. Also, anywhere you see a vent inside or a sunlight, make sure that you close them when you're not using the unit, or when you're driving, I should say. One other thing in the bedroom, you have a breaker box / fuse panel. It is right down here. It works just like your house, no different, okay? If you've got too many things plugged in, you will blow a fuse or you will pop your breaker. Not a big deal. Just make sure that they're all on, okay? If for some reason the TV or something's not working, come back here, check your box, make sure that they're all on. Also, the fuse panel for this box is right here as well, so if you need to check fuses for any reason, hopefully you never have to come back here and use it, but this is where your breaker / fuse box is in the unit. If you want some privacy, unsnap the button. Be careful with everything. Remember, don't force things in RVs. You want to just be nice to them. Take your time. Be patient with them. And now you can't see me. Full on privacy. Keep the kids out. Just make sure you latch it back up when you go to drive so that way it doesn't come flying open. You have a shower right here, full shower. Again, it's kind of tricky to open. Just kind of nudge it along. And you have a full-on shower. Works just like anything else. Always close the door when you go to drive. Across from that, you have your bathroom. Your bathroom is right here. You also have your full toilet, sink. You should have toilet paper and these little drop-ins. Now, the way that these things work, when you come and check the unit out, I will go ahead and put one of these in the toilet for you. But if you have to go and dump the tank, you need to make sure that you put one of these little pouches in the toilet. You don't have to pop it open. You don't have to do anything weird with it. You just drop it in just like it is right down the toilet. You flush it with some water, and then this will help break down everything in your black tank. That's the reason why you cannot flush the black tank on a daily basis. You have to let this stuff work so it breaks it down and it's easier to flush. So make sure your toilet paper, if you run out of toilet paper for some reason, septic safe only, all right? RV, boat, marine, whatever. Septic safe only. That's good for this system. It won't clog anything. The way that your toilet works, just any other typical toilet, nothing fancy. It has a foot lever right down here. That's all you do. And that's how the toilet flushes. Now, remember, in order to have water into your system, you either A, have to be plugged into city water straight in, or you use the water out of your freshwater tank. What that means is you have to turn on the pump. I'll show you the switch to turn on the pump, and when the pump is on, you'll pull water from your freshwater tank, enabling you to use water. You also, every unit has a Swiffer in them. They're easy to clean the floor. Feel free to use it. This comes with towels. Comes with 4 hand towels, or I'm sorry, 4 bath towels, and 4 hand towels. Right there. Every unit comes with the same amount. Please, I can't stress this enough. These are not rags. These are towels. You use them to dry off with, or dry your hands with, or your body with, not the unit. Please, if you use these to clean the unit or anything else, I will have to charge you for new towels. Don't do that. Right above me I have a vent, so if you need some fresh air, things like that, open your vent up, flip the switch, and there you go. Just like that. Again, make sure you always close it when you take off to drive, so that way this doesn't blow off. Right here in the hallway, right outside of the bathroom, you have a thermostat. This is actually just for the heater. That's it. It doesn't work the AC unit, just the heater only. Hopefully you don't have to use that, but it does get kind of cold here in Colorado at night, so you may have to. That runs off of propane. Right across from this, we have our refrigerator. Got a standard freezer and standard base. The way that these things work, you have auto, off, auto, or gas. Basically, auto is self-explanatory. If you're plugged in to electricity, it will notice that. Now, you'll always get the on, but what will happen is we're not getting electricity right now, so the gas will kick on to start cooling the fridge. If you only wanted to use gas, you just flip it all the way to gas. It lets you know that the unit is on and it is running off of gas. It's always set to the coldest settings because these things take forever to get cold, so I just leave it always on the coldest settings. If you're wanting me to pre-cool the fridge, when you go to check out the unit, just let me know. It's all in the email. You'll know that information, and I'll pre-cool the fridge for you. But when in doubt, if you're not sure, just always leave it on auto. It'll keep the fridge on and cold, whether you're in or out or on or off. Right here, our kitchen. Paper towels, paper plates, all sorts of little goodies. You've got your pots and pans up here. Feel free to use them. Clean them, please, when you're done using them. Sink. Down below, you have a coffee maker, and you have your cleaning supplies down here. Every unit should always have like carpet cleaner, Windex, Lysol, wood cleaner, etc., etc. An extra Swiffer pad. Remember, use the rags to clean things with, not the towels. You also have hand towels as well, kitchen towels. Your rags are right here. Remember, use your rags to clean things with. 2 kitchen towels, those are to dry your hands or dishes, not clean things. Cooking utensils, real basic stuff, nothing fancy, it'll get you by. And my rule of thumb is this: you can add to the collection, but please don't take away from the collection. Utensils, a lot of people just like to use just plasticware anyway. It's fine, doesn't make any difference to me. You have over here your microwave. Now, let me explain something. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to use your generator. Your generator is way down here over in the back. And that right there is how you start your generator. Just hold down the button until it kicks on, and you should be good. Now that we have our generator started, you'll know you have power to the unit because your microwave will come on or the TV will come on, one of the two. It usually takes a second for it to kick on. It just now kicked on. Time, it's flashing. So now I know I have power to the unit. That goes with park cable too. If you want to make sure that you've got electricity coming into the unit, just check your microwave and see if it's on. If it's on, you've got power. Now remember, you can use, in order to use things in the RV, your lights, things like that, that runs all off of battery. But your microwave, your TV, and your AC unit will only run off of power. That means a generator or park cable. Okay? Standard microwave, nothing fancy. Open it up, push the buttons, bloom, it works, done. Right here is our hood, light, the fan for it. Like that. Now, also right here is what's called our control panel. This will show and check all of the levels inside the unit. So I can hit test and it shows me the levels. Shows me the level of the holding tank 1, the holding tank 2. Shows me your fresh water, it's full. Your propane is full. Your battery is good.
What are whole tanks?
Hold tank 1 and 2, black and gray. I want to say hold tank 2 is gray and hold tank 1 is black. Your water pump is right here. Just flip it up. Shows you that the pump is on. Then that means we should have water. I always say flip the pump off when you're not using it. That way it doesn't blow up the pump. Just a good thing. Right below our control panel on our microwave is our stove. It's really easy to use. Just put things on to light. Hit spark. Last one don't want to come on. There we go. And you have a gas top stove. Awesome. Just make sure you shut them off. Use it at your own risk. Don't let kids burn themselves. It does have an oven as well. Pretty handy. Something that I forgot to mention real quick. Right down here is your propane sensor. If for some reason propane's leaking or you're not sure, if that thing starts chirping at you or beeping, you should probably get out of the unit. That's just what I would recommend. It's there to alarm and let you know that there's something leaking. Call me, of course, let me know, and we can walk through it. The other sensor is right up here. This is your carbon monoxide and your fire smoke detector. Works like it's supposed to. Same thing. If that thing's going off, probably should get out of the unit. Right down below is the fire extinguisher. Always know where that is at all times. Next to that, don't worry about these switches. That's just for the step. The one is for the step, which is on automatic, and the other one is for the patio light outside. Then right here, this is called your battery disconnect. If for some reason the whole unit has no power, lights aren't coming on, nothing's working, check and make sure that this is on by pushing up, okay? Now I'm going to go ahead and show you how to put your slides out. It's really, really easy. I usually turn my generator on for that so I have enough power. These motors run off of battery, but they take a lot of juice. So I'll just start the generator or plug in, and then I'll put these out. Now, I can't stress this enough. Every single one of these has a panel next to it, okay? You have to make sure that there is nothing in between these panels and the wall, like a purse, a cell phone, a laptop, a small child, whatever, your shoes. Please, I can't stress this enough, don't put anything in front or behind, I should say, these panels. It will get smashed and it will get destroyed. Again, I don't want to charge you for something that is very, very simple. Also, don't let anybody sit on the couch or on the dinette as you're putting the slides out. You don't need any added weight to the slides. So, having said all that, last thing, make sure you have 3 foot of clearance on both sides. Something that people forget. When they put the slides out, they forget that they're in a spot, a campground, and they don't know that there's a bar right next to your slide, because that's the guide to let you know where you can go or can't go. And they forget about that, or there's a tree stump or whatever. Just get out, double check, make sure that the slides have a clearing so when you push them out, everything's good. Okay? Now we can slide them. Just hit extend and out they go. They stop automatically. We'll do the other side as well. Right above my head is our AC unit. It is operated by just these 2 buttons right here, cooler, cold. Just flip it on. And this thing works great, works wonderfully. It keeps this whole unit pretty clean. Obviously give it some time to cool everything off. Again, remember, you have to have power in order to run this, okay? One thing also, make sure that this is in the off position when you go to start your generator, because you don't want a lot of load on the generator. The microwave and the TV and other little things will already draw power from the generator when it's turning on. So just make sure this is off, because this is a heavy draw, okay? Now let me show you how to make the beds. Okay, this bed right here, there's a hide-a-sleeper or hide-a-bed underneath. Just take your cushions up, put them off to the side somewhere, and just lift and pull, and you pull it out and it turns into a bed. Same way, just push it back. This also has seat belts underneath here as well. If you need to put some seat belts up, just grab them from underneath, and that's where your seat belts are at. And when you're done, just put the cushions back in. And that's it for that bed. All the bedding for the dinette and for this and the bed up here is all located up here. The unit has 3 twin sheet sets, 3 comforters, and 6 pillows. Additional pillows are located underneath the dinette. I'll show you that when I show you how to break the dinette down. Also the hideaway bed up front, just literally just slide it out and boom, instant bed. Just remove these and instant privacy. Push this back in when you're not using it, just so people don't bump their head if they're sitting down here. You have a TV up here. Remember, you're more than welcome to run the generator as you're driving. Just know that the generator runs off of the fuel of the engine. So it shouldn't be too much of a draw, but if your kids want to watch TV while you're driving, it is fine, but you have to run the generator to do it. Your remote, it's wherever you can find it. Sometimes it's down in the cubby hole, sometimes it's up here. The DVD player is right here. Remote for it. Again, feel free to use it, no problem. Should be easy to use. Lastly, a lot of times you'll have your slide out and people will maybe want to sit here, lean the chair back, just kick back and relax. You have to make sure that this chair, like I had mentioned earlier when you're putting the slides out, when you pull the slides back in, make sure that this chair is not in the way of this, because this will rip. Just how it is. If you come down here to the cockpit, standard driving cockpit, gauges, everything's a standard. It's got cruise control built into it, AC, fans, stereo, no complaints here. Right down here is your registration and insurance. It's usually always in a Ziploc baggie. Other than that, everything else is pretty straightforward. Oh, there are little Velcro things stuck for the window right here and a bunch more. And if you look up in the cabinet where the DVD player and the TV is at, you will find this, and it just opens up. There's sticky things. I'm not going to do it right now, but it opens up, and you just attach it to the Velcro, and then you have privacy in the windows. This concludes our walkthrough of the 2007 Fourwinds 5000 Series RV. Again, if you have any other questions or comments, go online, check it out, look at the photos, contact us, and feel free to book it.